guys, my name is Alli and I work for the Kansas City Public Library. Welcome to the next video in our Fandom yoga series. This is wizard yoga. So wizards, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Wizard of Oz, anything with magical creatures. If you have a magic wand, that would be perfect. If you don't have it, you can use a hairbrush, you can use anything you want, or you can just pretend like you have a magic wand. But we will be using a few times in our sequence today. You'll also want some space. You do not have to have any special equipment. You don't have to have a yoga mat. You just need to have a floor that you're not going to slip around on. And I also recommend having your doctor's thumbs up to be able to practice any kind of exercise, really. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with our feet about hips distance apart, and we're going to bring our wand into both hands right in front of our heart, with our elbows bent. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, raise the shoulders. As you breathe out, roll them down. And I want you to focus on your feet for just a moment. We're going to begin developing our wizard focus. So as we do that, I want to make sure that our four corners of our feet are sinking into the floor. Pretend like you have a string on the top of your head and pull it up, giving yourself some really good posture. Tuck in your core muscles and close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And we're gonna just take a few focusing breaths like a wizard who is preparing to do some particularly challenging magic, or maybe about to learn some challenging magic. So we're gonna breathe in. Exhale with the mouth open. Let all the air out. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. I want you to imagine, continue breathing, and imagine as you breathe in, you're breathing magic up through the earth, through your feet, into your body. And that the magic is going up the body, into the hands, and into the wand. So breathing in magic through the feet, up the legs, up the body, through the arms, into the wand. Just imagining that you had real magic and what that would feel in your body. On the next inhale, you're going to raise your arms up into the air, stretching towards the ceiling, looking up at your hands, stretching the neck for a moment, and then go ahead and drop the chin so you're looking forward and stretch towards your left. My right, your left. So we're stretching the wand up, making kind of a moon shape, or crescent moon shape with our body. Okay, coming up and stretching to the other side. So this is our wand pose. Stretching straight up. Let's go to the right one more time. Should feel really good on our side body. Keep breathing. The temptation here is to hold the breath. We want to actually keep the breathing going. Let the magic flow. All right. Go ahead and bring both arms to the side. Now, in most magical trilogies or stories, they seem to mostly be trilogies, there is a way to travel by magic. So we're gonna do something called apparition pose. In Harry Potter, they apparate, and when they do so, it's almost like they're swirling. So we're gonna separate the feet just a little bit, loosen the arms, and we're gonna start slowly rotating the body. Keep the hands loose, or the arms all the way loose, and it's like we're swirling back and forth. Should feel really good on your back. Keeping your feet planted, grounded in your magic, swaying the arms. 3, 2, 1. All right, come to a place of stillness, and we're going to come into magic tree pose. So in Lord of the Rings, you might remember the Ents, those walking trees. In Harry Potter, you might remember the trees the Whomping Willow tree, or the trees in the magic forbidden forest. So imagine whichever tree is your favorite. And we're going to get all of our weight into our left foot and start to lift up and turn our right knee. So this is a balance pose. So let's straighten the back, pretend like you have roots growing out of that left foot, and see if you can lift the right foot off of the floor. Challenge yourself. If you wobble a little bit, that's okay. If you fall, that's all right. Maybe you want to keep that big toe on the ground. Maybe you can even lift all the way up to your thigh, pushing your foot against your thigh. All right, I'm gonna put my wand down for a moment here. Find your balance here, and once you've found it, maybe you can grow your branches. And because we're talking about magic trees, let your branches sway. Maybe you want to grab a hold of something like a flying car, flying Ford Anglia maybe. All right, 3, 2, 1, release that foot to the ground. Let's walk our feet out, maybe twist that ankle a little bit. And we're getting ready to do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna put our right foot into the earth this time, pretending like you can send roots out of that foot into the ground, helping you balance. Turn that knee open to the side and find your balance. So maybe you want the big toe in the ground, maybe you wanna lift it just below the knee, or maybe you wanna take it in your hand and put it all the way on your thigh, the bottom of your foot pressing into the thigh, your thigh pushing against the foot. Maybe you want to challenge yourself, grow your branches. No big deal if you're just focusing on balance today. Oops, we all fall sometimes, no matter how practiced we are. Sway those branches, grab a car, grab a hippogriff maybe. And 3, 2, 1, drop that foot. Awesome. Okay, we're going to come forward on the mat, and I'm going to go right here. And we're going to raise the hands up like a wizard in all its power, and then swan dive down, pretending like you have a long wizard's beard. Imagine Gandalf or Dumbledore and their long beards. This is wizard beard pose. So you're going to make your arms into this really long beard, bend the knees a little bit. I want you to just hang down with the beard swaying in the wind and swaying your upper body, keeping the knees bent. And it could be that your knees are bent and you're kind of lifted like this, or it could be that your hands are on the ground, and that either one is just fine. We're gonna go ahead and plant the hands, walk the left foot back so that we've got the right foot forward. And we're gonna drop the back knee. All right. And we're coming into Phoenix Pose. Okay, so for Phoenix Pose, Phoenix are, of course, these magical birds. They show up in a lot of stories, a lot of mythology. And we're gonna take the left hand and place it on the mat with the fingers wide. And we're gonna turn and lift up our phoenix wing towards the right. And we're twisting this way because the phoenix has just been born once again from the ashes. So reaching that right wing all the way up into the air. And then take the hand down again. And then we're gonna place the right hand on the ground and lift the left up. We can also kind of lift up with our right elbow on our knee if that's more comfortable. That feels better for me. And lifting the other wing up into the air. And this symbolizes the end of our phoenix life, when we burst into beautiful flames, burn to ashes, just to be born again. It's really pretty cool. All right, take that hand down, and next we're going to lift up here, coming into elf pose. Okay, so elves use primarily bow and arrow for their weapon. So we're gonna take our hands, acting like you're notching an arrow, bringing the arm back. So your right hand is forward, the left hand is bringing the arrow back, and then release it. Letting it fly. Letting it hit its mark. All right, place the hands down, curl the toes, bring the knee up, and the right foot's gonna come back. And we're coming into cave pose, imagining there are dwarves in the cave, or maybe dragons. Who knows what's in the cave? Let's say it's dragons. We're gonna take our left foot this time, bring it all the way up to the front of the mat between the hands, drop the back knee, and flatten the foot against the mat. And once again, we are coming into Phoenix pose here. So we're gonna place the right hand on the mat with the hands spread wide, the fingers spread wide. We're gonna lift the left wing up towards the sky. We are being born again from the ashes, a baby bird reaching for the sky. Phoenix have lots of magical powers. According to the Harry Potter books, phoenixes have magical tears that heal. Okay, place the hand on the ground or the elbow on the knee. We're gonna lift the right wing up into the air, reaching. So you can be here or you can be here. Either way is just fine, and you might find that a different thing is comfortable with different sides. Rotating your wing a little bit at the top. And bring the hand down. Getting ready to come into elf pose. So we're gonna lift up our hands off of the mat. Reach the left hand forward this time. Grab the string of the bow with the right hand and release the arrow. Excellent. Bring both hands down. Curl the back toe. Lift up off of the mat. And we're gonna come onto our bellies. So we're getting ready to come into mermaid pose. And we're gonna lift up, bring our feet together like a mermaid, and then we're bringing the arms out. Maybe you wanna kick the feet a little bit. Mermaid pose. Or maybe you're a merman. Awesome. Go ahead and bring the head down. Let's give it a little rest for just a moment. All right, we're gonna bring the hands forward so that your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. And we're coming into our serpent pose. So in Harry Potter, one of the most famous serpents was the basilisk. There's also Nagini, who's in the later books. But in lots of fantasy novels, there are evil serpents. So just imagining whatever serpent comes to your mind first, and then lower the head onto the mat once again, or onto your hands. And preparing for our next pose. This is gonna be a big back bend. We're gonna lift both the hands and feet, and then bend both knees. See if you can send one hand back to pick, to hold on to the right foot or the left foot, and the other hand. If you can grab onto both, that's awesome. If not, you can just do one side, and that's okay. And we're gonna lift up. We are in the cauldron pose. If you've got both feet, you can lift up. You might even rock a little bit, and that's okay. I tend to rock as I breathe. Maybe you can bring your knees a little closer together. If you are just holding onto one side, go ahead and switch to the other side. What are you making in potions today? All right, go ahead and lower down. And we're gonna come back into our hiding pose. Oh, so a lot of times witches and wizards and magical creatures end up needing to hide for a little bit. So we're kind of going back into our cave, or maybe a hobbit hole, and just hiding for a moment. Resting our back. Awesome. All right, we're gonna come back up into our dwarf cave pose. Lift up the right foot and then bring it all the way forward. Lift the hands up. We're coming into centaur pose. All right, so centaurs are, of course, half horse, half man or half woman. And the bottom part of their body is like a horse, and the top part is like a man. So we've got our arms up and getting ready to go into unicorn pose. So for unicorn pose, we're gonna make a unicorn on our head, and then we're gonna tilt forward. 3, 2, 1. Place the hands down, send that back leg back into our wizard or our dwarf cave pose. Lift the left foot up and bring it all the way to the front of the mat. Lift the hands up, coming back into our centaur pose. Of course, centaurs come into kind of mythology and Greek mythology as well. So it didn't just come from Harry Potter. They were around well before then. Getting ready for unicorns. And unicorns also have been around in folklore for a long time. Many, many stories. Okay, lower the hands down. Send the knees back. And you can either walk around here for a moment in your dwarf pose, or maybe you want to lower the knees, come into hiding pose for a moment if you're getting wiped out. Whew. Seems like wizards always go on a journey, so they've got to take lots of breaks, set up camp, take a rest. All right, lifting back up, lift the right foot up, and we're going to bring it forward again. This time, bringing the hands forward just long enough to open the arms out wide. We're coming into dueling pose. So grab your wand if you've got it, and we're going to act like a wizard who's dueling an enemy. All right, lower the back hand down the leg, bend into that front knee, and bring your wand back into fireball pose, acting like you're taking fireballs into the air. Awesome. Straighten that leg. We're going to switch feet so that your feet are turning the opposite direction. Sink into that side. Switch your wand so that you face your opponent. All right, lower that hand down the leg. Sweeping the wand up into fireball pose. Or maybe you're Gandalf and you've got magical fireworks, which is pretty cool. All right, so we're going to drop the wand, bring the feet so that the toes are pointing the corners of the rooms, and we're coming into giant pose. So for giant pose, we're going to bend the knees. We're acting like we've got real broad shoulders. My favorite half giant, of course, is Hagrid, but there's giants in lots of other stories. Most of them are pretty evil, but not all. Some of them are kind giants. And we're sitting here kind of resting, working those strong leg muscles. All right, straighten the legs, bring them in a little bit. We're gonna bend the knees and come into giant spider pose or arachnid pose. So you're acting like this giant spider. Maybe you want to sway from side to side, be a little creepy. We're gonna take one spider leg up into the air, reaching out to catch a victim, and then bring it back, and then we're going to take the other spider leg up into the air. Now, I'm super creeped out by the spider, or all the spiders really, in Harry Potter, but if you guys haven't seen Lord of the Rings, there is this horrible spider cave. It has got to be the worst scene in that movie. I was so creeped out. So, if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings yet, check that out. I think it's in the second one, is that right? Is the third one maybe? Yeah, maybe the second or third one. Me and the other librarian filming me, we're not sure. But second or third, I think it's the second. Yeah, that's what my heart's telling me. All right, we are going to lower down onto the floor now, coming into fairy pose. So, for fairy pose, it's almost like that butterfly pose you probably did in gym class. We're going to make our wings fly, straighten our back, And then bring the knees to a pause. See if you can fold forward a little bit. You can try it at first with your back straight. And then if you'd like, you can round the spine and come forward as much as feels comfortable for you. Fairies are also in the very popular Nintendo game, Zelda. Fairies show up in all kinds of stories. All right, coming back up, we're going to bring the feet forward so that they're straight. So think like your sit and reach test, only you're not trying to reach as far as you can this time. This time what you're doing is bringing your hands in a circle right above your head. This is the one ring pose. And so we're going to take the one ring and we're going to fold forward, acting like we're reaching for it. So maybe the one ring is in the pond and we're trying to grab it. Maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe you can think in your creepiest Gollum voice, the precious. Yeah, so creepy. And if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about right now, that's Lord of the Rings. There is also a very famous ring in the Harry Potter books. So you can imagine that you're reaching for the Ring of Salazar Slytherin, which is a Horcrux. Spoiler! All right, coming back up. And we're gonna come to our backs. This is one of our last poses. So on our backs, with our feet up in the air in candlestick pose. Now you can make this a candlestick, or you can make it into a torch. So either way, if you wanna make it into a torch, you're gonna kind of almost paddle the legs like you're swimming. And that's kind of like the burning torch. Or you can make it a candle and point one toe. That's gonna be your little flame. And if you do that, go ahead and do the other. So you're pointing the toe to make it a flame again. All right, we're gonna come into waterfall pose. Lots of waterfalls in these fantasy novels. This one's a magical one. Plant the hands so that they're pressing against the ground and keep your spine, your back on the ground at all times. See if you can slowly, on the count of 10, lower your feet down very gradually, slowly. It's gonna get hard right about now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're gonna come into our wand pose one more time, stretching your body into a wand shape as long as you can. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, we're gonna come into petrified pose. So lots of magical creatures can cause you to become petrified. And sometimes you're in a magical world that will allow you to have a potion that will revive you. We can think, Snow White and the Seven, or not Snow White, silly me, Sleeping Beauty. We can think Harry Potter, when some of the characters saw the basilisk, they became petrified. So all different types of ways to be petrified or be in a magical sleep. Maybe somebody gave them a sleeping potion for healing. But we're gonna stay here for about 3 long breaths. We're gonna inhale, big breath, and then exhale with the mouth open. One more time, or 2 more times. Inhale, breathe it in, big breath, exhale. Last one. All right, bring the knees into the chest. You've just started to be revived. You've just taken your revival potion. And you're hugging your knees into the chest. Like a dragon about to be born from a dragon egg. And begin rocking back and forth like you're about to hatch from this dragon egg. 3, 2, 1, come all the way up. Bring the hands together. See if I can find my wand up here. Whoops. Okay, got my wand. Sit up nice and straight and tall. Take the wand in the hand, and we're gonna again end our practice here, imagining magic coming from the earth into our bodies, into our wands. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. Focusing the magic Breathe in again. Last one. Awesome. And just like a wizard, now you found your focus. Hopefully the next part of your day will be truly magical. Thanks for joining us again for our Fandom Yoga series, Wizard Yoga. Have a great day.